Hi guys and gals, Froggy here. What I've got for you today is my 95 BMW, which I'm going to polish the headlight lenses. They've gotten a little bit cloudy. This is very common. I'm sure you've all seen lots of cars driving around with cloudy lenses. I'm going to use I'm not going out to buy a special kit. You can buy those and they're made to work with a power drill. I have quite a few polishing materials here already that I use on the paint on a car, and I think they'll also work on these lenses. Now if they're really bad, most detailers or people who do the restoration of the lenses will say to start with wet sanding with sandpaper, like a 1000 grit to a 2000 grit to a 3000 grit. I don't think these are that bad, so I'm going to skip that step. If I get them started and I find out that they do need that, then I'll go out and get some sandpaper. The finest that I've got is about 600 grit, and that's I'm sure that's way too much for wet sanding on lenses. So first I'm going to clean them. I put some tape around the edges so that I don't damage any paint, and I've got some cleaner here. This is just degreaser. I guess you could even use some Windex if you wanted to, but we'll just give them a little cleaning, and I want to see how bad they are. They're, medium bad, I'll call it. They're not totally shot, but they definitely need some help. So the first thing I'm going to do is use some of this rubbing compound that I've got. Again, this is for paint, but I'm going to use it on plastic. I think it's going to be alright. If it's not, then Froggy's going to tell you that. I've got some medium cut, fine cut, and finishing. So let's start with some medium cut. This is my Porta Cable random orbit polisher, and what I'm going to do is I actually put the medium cut polishing compound on the lens, because if I put it on the pad, I'm going to use such a high speed that it's probably going to sling it off the pad. And I'm working in a small area here, so I just thought that would be a good way to do it. So I'm going to start this up a little bit of a slower speed till I work the material in. The trick to this is you've got to get it up to a high enough speed so that the polishing material works. If you go too slow, it doesn't work. If you go too fast, it doesn't work. You have to kind of use your judgment on this to get it to a speed where you're cutting into the plastic but not burning the plastic. So I'm going to experiment with more of the higher speeds on this, not the slower speeds, except to start just to work it in. Well, let me set it down here. It goes 1 to 5. I'm setting it on about 2.5. I'm going to get started, and then I'm going to move up the speed. Yeah, even at 2.5, it's throwing some of the polish off, but that's something I just can't help. I'll have to clean up the car afterwards. I just cleaned that engine too. I'm going to put the camera down now and get it up to a little higher speed and work it in. If you're using a power polisher like I am, and you're using a pad like that, some headlights have these little aiming nubs on them. This one does, and that'll tear up your pad. So you're going to have to maneuver around them. Let me clean this off with my cleaner and see how it looks. Okay, what you want to happen is to be like an overall lightly cloudy appearance to the lens. It's not going to get crystal clear right away because you have to go to finer compounds to do that. And I can see after doing this first pass with the medium compound, I'm not going to really get them crystal clear. They've got some damage that's a little sandblasty kind of damage. But I'm going to go ahead and do this anyway just to show you how to finish it. I don't want to cut the video in the middle here so I can run off to the store and get the sandpaper. What I would suggest though is to do the wet sanding with the sandpaper if your lenses are gone this far. That's starting with like 1,000 grit, then 2,000, then 3,000, or maybe go right from 1,000 to 3,000 and use water and a little bit of car washing soap as your lubricant when you wet sand it. Okay, now let's try the next grit, the fine cut. Well, like last time, I spread it on there with my hand, and I also put a blanket on top of the engine because it was really a nice clean engine, and it was spattering all over the place. So I always think about what you can do to fix what's happening, and there's a little bit here that I'll be able to clean up afterwards. So let's try the porta cable on this fine cut. I'm going to go on 3 just to start it, and then I'm going to put the camera down and go up to 5. Avoid that little nub, because that'll tear up my pad. You know, this is just working the compound in, getting it worked into the pad and worked into the lens, but this is not fast enough to do the polishing. Now I'm going to move the speed up. You can hear the difference in how that motor is revving. See if I can do this. One hand on the camera and one hand on the porta cable. That's a lot of speed now. That's probably 5,000 RPM. Okay, let's clean it and see if that cloudiness is a little less. You can't really tell till it dries. Give it another shot. No, it's drying right in front of my eyes, right in front of the camera lens as we watch it here. There's a little bit running off the top. Well, it's a little less cloudy. Not much, a little less cloudy. We're going to go next to this micro finishing. This should be the finest one, and then I'm going to go to the plastics. I might even do this one by hand. I'm not sure if I'm going to use the machine on this or not. Okay, that's what we've got. Now it's getting a little better every grade, and I don't know how good it's going to show up on the camera, but the technique is what I'm interested in showing you how to do. Your results may vary, but this is looking pretty good compared to the original right now. I'm going to hit it with the plastics, and then we'll clean off the other side and we'll do a compare. Now this is supposed to be the finishing level, and it definitely felt very smooth to my hand when I put it on. The other ones felt like they had some abrasion to them. Again, put it on by hand. I'm going to use the PC to buff it in. Here we go. It's not going to take too long to work it in. You're going to go right up to the high speed. Okay, we're on high speed. Okay, what I'm doing the final clean off with is some interior detailer cleaner. It's good for all interior surfaces. I know I'm on the exterior, but this is good for the plastic in your driver display, so it would be fine for headlights also. It says won't leave behind any greasy appearance or anything like that. Good for interior, safe for interior plastics. That's what I was looking for. So this is good. And used a microfiber towel. I'm liking it. I'm going to clean off the other side, and now I'm going to show you left and right, or before and after. Okay, first I'll show you a distance shot. It's obvious that it did a pretty good job. Here's a distance shot. Here's a zoom in. You can see it's pretty clear. Back to distance. Zoom in. And you can see the cloudiness, I'm sure, even though I don't have perfect lighting today. Let me give you some close-up too. Actually, the close-up didn't work that great, so I'm not going to shoot the close-up. There's something about shooting a reflective plastic lens. So here's a little more distance, and I'll zoom in and out. But there's on your left the one that I worked, and on your right the one that hasn't been worked yet. As I said in the beginning, to get them perfect, I would have had to use some sandpaper. So try that, but you might not even use 1,000. You might just use 2,000 and 3,000. And when you do that, it's going to look cloudy. It's wet sanding. It's going to look cloudy, but then your polishing will get rid of the cloudiness. So here you go. Yeah, that looks pretty damn good. Okay, Froggy's going to do the other side, and then I'm going to wrap it up. So thanks for having a look at this video. There, Froggy's done. Just a couple of final notes on this procedure. You could try doing it by hand, but you're looking at hours of work compared to using the machine. So just be warned. The thing that the machine does for you is it gets the compound up to a temperature that makes it work on the material that you're working on, which is the plastic. Or it could be paint if you're doing it, you know, if you're putting wax on with one of those random orbit polishing tools. It just makes life easier. So sometimes you need to buy the tool. Well, there you go. We got clear headlights again, and excuse the dirty paint. This has got to go get waxed. But if this helped you out, give me a thumbs up. You want to see more from Froggy? Subscribe to my channel. It's free. Froggy out. One other thing that I did not show you, there is a finish. It's a spray-on, I believe, like a clear coat finish you can put on this plastic that might even have a UV protector in it that will make it last longer. None of these restoration jobs are going to last as long as brand new headlight lenses, but there is a product, and I will research it and I'll put a notation in on my video what the product is. Okay, just wanted you guys to know that. Froggy out.